On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
For you to say that a man has to be at a certain status for a woman to respect him, I disagree completely. And I
Got
don't.
a question for you, Tawana.
Yeah.
Have you ever disrespected any of your men that you've dated?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Absolutely.
Why do you feel like you had to disrespect them?
I didn't feel like I had to disrespect.
Well,
them.
what allowed you
Did
to?
I do it because
What gave you that energy?
So
Because when you first meet somebody, and when you first meet somebody, you don't really like know them. But as you begin to date them, and as time happens, people develop certain energies.
Right.
Unfortunately, you develop the energy to be able to disrespect whichever man or mans you're talking about. And I'm just trying to get to the bottom of why did it happen? Just joining us, welcome to Lapeef, Let's Talk. Moving on to our third topic, which is, does a man's status determine his respect from a woman?
Both those guys just proved my point.
Does a man's status
determine his respect from a woman?
Well,
tell me what you mean by that.
So what I mean by this is that I feel like a lot of men out here are tolerating a lot of disrespect from these women, and I'm quite frankly fed up with it. So I wanted to dive into it to figure out if it's his status, if it's he's a beta, it's his mindset. What is allowing these women to disrespect these men? Is it the status? I just want to get to the bottom of it. Start with you, Nix. Does a man's status determine his respect from a woman, in your perspective?
Absolutely.
I am so proud of you.
No, hey,
you're my guy, bro.
Let me talk.
You're my guy, bro. I love you, bro. You my guy.
Can I talk?
Go ahead.
All right.
So, I'm sending you a gift. B-Nix, right now.
I don't care. All right. So what I was going to say is just absolutely. I think it does relate to the level of status of how you're able to command your household, how you're able to command your circle, and also not just what you do professionally, but what you do personally. So as far as you being able to be successful professionally, it is about your earnings. It is about your stature. It's about your position. It's about how you carry yourself. But then also that translates to what you do in your personal life. Both goes hand in hand. People try to live in these two worlds, but what you represent, that grind, that drive, that hustle, that legit hustle, because I admit my hustle is legit, but it still has to be that same approach that you take in your home. And the thing is, that's the part of the puzzle that you have to have in order to complete. If you aren't able to grind and aren't able to secure the stature, and I'm not just talking about the finances. It is about the resources, the access, the opportunity. Women talk about this all the time with the level of security, the provider. All of that relates to how you're able to make both yourself and the people in your circle feel that, you know what? I know at the end of the day, this person has my back. So absolutely, it does relate to your level of status. And you can't secure that status if you don't have access to both your finances, to your resources, and your access to your network. If you don't have that, then you're going to be left out in the cold.
Tawana, does a man's status determine his respect from a woman?
I don't know what y'all mean by this question. I was trying to listen to B-Nix to be like, what exactly do you mean? I mean,
you don't understand?
My father, I respect him, right? Because he's my dad. So yeah, of course, that status means something. I have a boss, a superior. He's my director.
No shade to your pops and your family, but it is about how you're able to command the room. We've seen it even in entertainment, where the man who doesn't have the bet, like we seen it. I think one of the movies.
Okay,
hey, you got this woman that's an attorney, and then you got this aspiring chef. And the thing is, that's cool and all, and I get these passion projects, but at the end of the day, it's not sustainable. So it's very much so about how you're able to secure this level of status. And really, that goes back to the security.
Yeah, for me, let me say this. For me, no. I respect, if you are an asshole and you're rich, and you're a lawyer, you probably gonna get cursed out just like you would if you was a poor man talking shit to me. Like, I do not care about that. I'm just saying, like, you gonna get respect if you give me respect. So I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out what y'all mean by this. Like, oh, so I'm gonna let a man talk to me crazy, or I'm gonna, let him treat me a certain way because he got a certain status. Is that what y'all saying? Because that is absolutely 100% incorrect. But if you saying that, am I going to respect someone's title and who they are, in what they bring to the table? Absolutely. I think that you should give people their accolades, especially if they work hard. Like, I'm going to have a level of respect for a man based on, his experience and what he's been through and notoriety, right? But also, am I going to have less respect for a man that don't have a status? I just don't. I don't think like that. You give people respect regardless. I mean, I don't know. I'm struggling with this question a little bit. And I heard you, JR, say that you've been seeing a lot of women disrespect their men.
I'm tired of it.
And you were just getting tired. You're just getting.
I'm not tired of the women. I'm tired of the men for allowing it.
That's allowing their women to disrespect.
I'm trying to figure out what the problem is.
So their women are disrespecting it. Is that what you're saying? Like, they're women who they're in an intimate relationship with? So is this as a relation to relationships? Because I do think women lose respect for certain men in relationships.
Why?
And it could be
status.
Status can affect it. Sometimes that happens because I know that, some women get really upset when circumstance change, right? If they used to certain lifestyle, circumstance change, so they respect change for their man. I disagree with that, but I do believe that happens. And I do think that certain things can, cause people to lose respect for each other. I don't agree with those things, but I definitely think that happens. I'm realistic in that way, where I know that, that breakdown can happen in the house. But for you to say that a man has to be at a certain status for a woman to respect him, I disagree completely. And I got
a question for you, Tawana.
Yeah.
Have you ever disrespected any of your men that you've dated?
Yeah.
Why?
Absolutely.
Why do you feel like you had to disrespect them?
I didn't feel like I had to disrespect.
Well, what allowed you to?
I do it because.
What gave you that energy?
So
because when you first meet somebody, when you first meet somebody, you don't really know them. But as you begin to date them, and as time happens, people develop certain energies.
Right.
Unfortunately, you develop the energy to be able to disrespect whichever man or mans you're talking about. And I'm just trying to get to the bottom of why did it happen?
Mostly it's in a disagreement that gets heated. And, we both can have different opinions for a variety of reasons, right?
What?
I can have this opinion, you can have this opinion. And I think at some point that conversation just shifts and it can just change into something totally different. But for me, I have triggers, right? So those triggers are getting pushed, and I probably have a little bit of no filter, just a little bit, But as I'm 37 now, so that's it's a little different now. The show is one thing, but real life is one. So I just don't.
I don't feel like you answered the question.
I did. I said it was in an argument, a heated argument. You want me to give you the specific argument?
Yeah, I want you to dive a little bit deeper into it.
Jesus, I gotta think about a whole situation.
If you're not ready, let me know. Ashley.
I'll think about it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and think about it. Ashley, I'm gonna get your opinion on this. Does a man's status determine the respect from a woman? Does a man's status determine his respect from a woman?
In a relationship, I think so, but there's more to it than just money. Like, I think about, for instance, my mom, who's really my grandmother. She raised me, and my granddad, he made good money, but they didn't always have good money. but she still respected him. And there are a lot of women who, as long as the man is trying and he's not being lazy, he's not being a bum, he's not making excuses, they will respect you even if you don't have a lot of money. We see this every day. But I do think that men lose respect from the women that they're with when they are lazy or too complacent. Like if you're not working toward your goals, if you making excuses, if you keep asking her for money because you're not trying to really come to your own, I think that's when women start to lose respect for their men.
All right. Anton, I don't think I heard from you. Does a man's status determine his respect from a woman? No cap.
Absolutely. 1000%. Of course it does. And I'm going to tell you why specifically. But here's the difference. Like, I'm going to use my real life because my life is an open book, as everybody already know. And I don't mind being like used under the microscope, criticize any of that, right? When I walk into a room, all of that joking and laughing, they wait to move according to what I say or whatever my energy is. And it's based off of the fact that I am at a certain level. That's just real talk. And whether or not you want to align it with how visible I am or how much money I got or the power that I have to change lives or whatever it is, people treat me different, specifically women, because guys, we just rock. When you want to, when you know, and that's why so many dudes that's called into the show is already connected with me on LinkedIn, right? Because we understand each other. But when you move a certain type of way, women, they cater to you, they love you, they treat you. Listen, the stuff that these simps is doing in order to get these girls, because all the girls doing is using the simps, and then they'll rock with a dude like me. Real talk. Like, they use the simps to make themselves feel good, and then they subject themselves to people like me because I move a certain type of way, because I carry myself a certain type of way, because of status. So we're not talking about whether or not it's right or wrong, but we talking about how women move. And it's like, my chick will never disrespect me. I don't have to say don't disrespect me. I don't have to lay rules down. I don't have to say, yo, this is how we gonna move in a relationship. She just by default understand that when I say certain things or when I move a specific type of way, or even if we get into it and I'm dead wrong, she will never disrespect me. She's always gonna maintain a level of respect because, and I hate to say it because I know it's a triggering word, I'm an ultra alpha male. That's what it comes down to, bro. It's the betas. If you see a guy that's getting disrespected, it's because he's a beta. Real talk.
Tawana, kind of like you want to respond to that.
Oh no, I just think y'all like hilarious. I was just laughing.
Who was y'all?
So you think that it's a woman that a disrespect?
The men and like some of the things that y'all say. It's so funny. I be like, do you really believe it, or are we like just trying to have a shot? I mean, I don't know. So I'm just gonna go ahead and roll.
Well, we all know money is not enough. Think about all the rich men who we don't respect. President Trump.
It's not just money. It's a lot of things that go into status.
I see you over there itching nicks. I see you want to say something. What you got to say?
I would never, you're right. Like, if you have a man in your life that's doing what he's supposed to do and making sure you good and taking care of you, you will never disrespect him. Like, you won't. I mean, I agree with that to a certain extent. Like, I feel like that doesn't mean you all won't have disagreements. That doesn't mean that you won't, have arguments or whatever disputes, but you won't disrespect him and you will make sure you always honor him.
But also the status, like you mentioned, the status also gives you a level of comfort of knowing that from a financial security, physical security, from a mental security, all that goes into it. If you don't have the status, and I'm worried about, man, how we gonna get the bills paid? Or you know what? Hey, I don't know the last time I took you out on a trip. All that plays into now crumbling the level of status that you got. And you can't provide that to your lady if you don't have everything secure. So it's very much so about both personal and professional status in order to secure and sustain the relationship. That's the thing. We're talking about sustainability. If you want to keep your lady, then it is very much so about ensuring that you maintain that level of status.
I'll add something more to that though, B Nix. It's not just status as it relates to my lady, right? Because when we talking about her, it's already understood. Like she'll never disrespect me. None of that. Like we don't even, that's not even something that we need to discuss. It's as it relates to every woman that I come in contact with. Like when I move and when I walk into certain rooms, even if you see them talking on the internet and in the comments and all of that type of stuff, it all shut down when I walk in. So it's not just with her, it's every woman. And the thing about women that guys don't understand is that, like, even with me being married, it just makes me even more of a commodity. Like women want me more as a result of being married, not because I'm single. So of course they're gonna move differently around me. Of course they're gonna make sure that they ensure that they respect me and everything like that. It's just a certain type of way you move. You ain't gotta be all this great looking. You gotta have confidence. You gotta be red pilled. You got to be an alpha male. You got to stop defining yourself according to what you think women want and start focusing on how you need to move differently. Start chasing the checks. Start becoming a better version of you. Start evolving. Start working out. Start becoming more spiritual. Start be doing all the things that's going to make you awesome. And people, especially women, will naturally respect and follow you. Stop subjecting yourself to what you think women think and start subjecting yourself to the best version of you. And most of the time that comes with surrounding yourself with other high value men that can add value to your life.
People need to be realistic about who they are. And that's the thing, what they represent. This goes back to the character building and also the level of confidence. If you don't have that bestowed upon yourself from within, people can see right through that. And including your lady and your circle, they see right through it. You talked about it earlier, like, hey, it's folks, I can't respect certain people. This goes into that category of somebody I can't respect. We as a society, just because you have this title and we defer respect, that doesn't mean you got the real respect just because you got a title or just because, oh, well, I'm in a relationship. That does not sustain. It doesn't last forever. And guess what? You're going to end up getting played.